No, that's all right.
I can't believe I'm in a car with Jon Dorotich. It's so exciting. In Perth.
That's it.
I'm here. I came to you.
It's a beautiful city. It's very quiet. It's not quite like Melbourne. You know, Melbourne's just a great city. It's got everything.
We'll get to the nightclubs later. Is that all right?
Oh, I can't remember. What was that one on St Kilda Road? David Rhys-Jones first took me there in '86.
One on St Kilda Road. Was it Chasers?
That'd be it, or something like that.
Chevron?
Chevron was the one, yeah.
What did you think about Carlton before you came, and then what you realised once you got there?
Oh, I suppose I didn't probably have any preconceived ideas before I got there. And, you know, I remember walking up the passageway, the club rooms, you know, in the old Princess Park in the Robert Heatley stand and seeing all the great names of the best and fairest, you know, Dooley and people like that. And you go, wow, to be able to get to a club and play, you know, your first 3 years, a losing grand final against Hawthorn, a winning one against Hawthorn, and then bowing out in the preliminary final against Melbourne. Wasn't a bad introduction for all of us, Sticks, Braddles, you know, and unfortunately Peter Motley's accident, you know, ruined what would have been just an amazing career, I'm sure.
Yeah. 132 games for Carlton.
Yes.
103 goals.
Is that right? I'm sure it's 106 in the record book. I must have kicked a few one day. If only Wolsey and Parkin had a rotated, you know, me more with Sticks, it would have been better.
I argue that you were ahead of your time. Like, Kevin Sheedy would have loved you, Dora. You could play up back, you could play up forward.
Yeah, no, well, it was good, you know. Like,
I thought you've kicked all these goals. I thought you were a backman.
No. Well, I was initially when I got to Carlton, but I'd played all my senior footy over in Perth. Probably 90% of it at centre half forward. Centre half back was vacant. Perra had left not long before, so Sticks was the man that was playing centre half forward. And ever since he kicked all those goals on Dooley in that State of Origin game, you know, he was always going to come. So ideally, you know, I could easily slot into centre half back, and it worked out fantastically well, I think, for the club. And for me, you know, you get given an opportunity, and, you know, to play with that group of players is just amazing.
If, you know, one of the quirks of history, if things had gone differently, how long do you think Stephen Kernahan would have lasted at centre-half back for Carlton?
Interesting, Sticks. I'm not sure Stephen would have been your ideal defender, so...
Because I'm going to show you this, Dora. Carlton's class of 86.
I remember that.
Dora, Robert Walls, coach, although he looks fit enough to be still playing.
Yeah.
Stephen Kernahan and Peter Bazusto. What a forward line that would have been.
He came back with a nice cameo. We could have stuck Sticks closer to goal, because I'm sure I might have had a bit more aerobic capacity than the big Spaniard.
But this never happened.
No. Well, Buzz, as you know, like he came over, his father got crook, and I think he tried to make that secondary comeback, and it was just unfortunate that he couldn't. He had to come back, I think, and run the sports store and all that. So he was just a freak, you know.
Yeah. Did you watch him?
Yeah. You just watch him and you're in awe.
You know, the old toughest opponent. I could not care. Right, actually, I just want to ask this. What's the easiest opponent?
I don't know whether there was easy. I'm not sure.
All right,
You tell me the easy one you perceive it to be.
No. I'll soften it by saying, who did you look forward to playing on?
Dwayne Russell was an interesting one a couple of times that I played on, Dwayne.
I know Dwayne.
Yeah, well, I know Dwayne as well, but, you know, I'm not going to say I didn't look forward to always playing on Dermot or Roger Merritt or Paul Salmon or Barry Stoneham, guys like that. Look, Dwayne was a great player, but he was playing centre half forward, and physically he wasn't as tall or as mobile as, you know, what I was.
I just want it on the record. Can you please say this? The player I always looked forward to playing on was Dwayne Russell.
The player I always look forward to playing on was Dwayne Russell. Probably not as often as I should, so I'll have to check the records to see if I ever got any Brownlow votes playing against Geelong.
I can't wait for him to see this.
We'll just let him know I had to make a decision. You've put me under great duress.
Yeah. And also, what about those other names you just mentioned that you were playing on? The Stoneham, Lockett,
Stuart Lowe.
Lowe. People forget how good Stuart Lowe was, don't they?
No, mate, he was amazing. I kid you not, like I played on him one day at Princess Park, and we all know Stuart played centre half forward, 6'4", had hands 1.5 times the size of mine.
Yeah.
And you think you do okay. Then you wake up next morning and you read the Herald Sun, he's had 14 marks. He didn't kick a lot of goals, but you go, wow, 14 marks, that's a pretty fair effort for a centre half forward. Mind you, I was on a very thin bit of ice in 1987, our Premiership year. I'd suffered a couple of blows to the head in consecutive weeks. And this is about round 12 and round 13, and obviously you're leading into finals and stuff like that. And I thought I couldn't get a kick for a month, and Wolsey, I thought I better change my routine. So I decided to, I'll leave it till the last bit. The reserves were playing. 10 minutes into the last quarter, Wolsey comes and sits next to me, and he looks me in the eye, and he goes, in all my time coaching, there's never been anybody that's been on such thin bloody ice as you. So if you don't get a kick today, you are a rat shit. Do you understand? You're gone. Somehow out of the blue, I played an absolute blinder and get BOG, get 3 Brownlow votes. Then all of a sudden, Wolsey will credit that spray or the thing that made me tremble as I walked back into the rooms to get ready for the game.
Are you Doro or Dora? I asked the hard questions, mate, as you know.
Look, you got Dora. John Elliott, when I first got to the club, a few of the boys cottoned on and they've called me Jack, because John's very good. I don't know if there was drinking that day at the family day. He introduced me as Jack Dorotich, a new recruit from Perth. I've gone, John. It's not a hard one to remember. That's your name as well.
Can you believe that David Parkin is still alive, considering how much smoke he would have passively smoked with Wes Lofts in the box?
Absolutely. So.
Did you ever share a cigarette with Wes Lofts?
No, he was good, Wes. So.
Yeah.
Might have had a cigar or something.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, from time to time. We might have had a celebratory something. So, but yeah, Loftsy was a good one. I loved how you got dressed up for Parko and driving with Sam.
Thanance, mate. I thought I went to the effort.
Well, that's right.
You were number 6, Dora.
Yep.
Who was either side of you, with locker-wise?
Well, the Dominator.
Number 7.
And Steve DeRuy for a while, who I believe you're going to catch up with the cheese man at some stage this afternoon.
Yeah, we're trying to find him, Dora. Who knows? But
we're driving up here for everybody there, and if Sam, you look over to your right, there's a billboard there. Have a look who's on it.
That's Earl Spalding.
That's right.
I think. Either that or a wrestler from 1985.
They've got the big giant billboard. Because Earl's coaching Perth now, so he's got back into the coaching caper.
I've got the Blues News from 1988. All right?
Have a look at that.
I'm going to show the people first.
Has that got a semi-mullet? Certainly not as bad as the stick.
You did have a mullet, mate. Jon Dorotich representing More Business Forms and Systems Division. Give me a call for your computer stationery, invoice, statements, purchase orders.
It's amazing.
What did you do? What was this job? What is it? I don't even know what that means.
As I said to you earlier on, I was a butcher and then a postman, and then I went to Melbourne, and my first supplier function, if you want to call it, sponsors function.
Yeah.
I turned up at a function and I sat next to a gentleman by the name of Rod Brenchley, and he worked for More Business Systems as it was there. Sort of had an interview, and More Business Systems was a national print company that did, business forms and stationery and stuff like that. So he got me into it, and then here I are now, 1986. We're into 2015, and nearly coming up for my 30th anniversary in the industry of print and communications.
Do you ever think that this country missed out on one of the great butchers because you gave it up to play footy?
Yeah.
How long were you a butcher?
4 years.
So you did apprenticeship?
Yeah, I did my apprenticeship. Much to most people's surprise, I did get through to the end. And actually, in year 2 or something like that, I did actually get named Apprentice of the Year. But
what year?
Would have been 1978 or 79. It would have been
1978. Apprentice Butcher of the Year, Jon Dorotich.
That's it. Sounds great, doesn't it? I'll have to find the certificate somewhere just to verify that for everybody that might think I'm telling a tale. You look back on it, and I suppose if you had it all again, you'd do some things differently. The way you went about your footy, and you look at it and you think, but you wouldn't realistically change too much, because the reality is, you talk about it. We've got a lot of Premiership players, but the fundamental thing is, you look at the history of the game, 120, 130 years of footy and Premiership players. There's less than 2,000 of us.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking me for a drive, Dora. You're one of the great butchers this country.
And postman.
One of the great butchers, one of the great postmen, and I like to remember you as a man who consistently throughout his career kept Stuart Lowe to 14 marks in a game. Jon Dorotich, thank you so much.
No worries, Sam. Thanks, mate.